Like in terms of Nintendo being like the kid friendly company, I feel like, and also rounding it back into Sword and Shield, like a lot of the complaints around Sword and Shield, like other than the fucking the pixel pop in and like this character just appeared in front of, I'm like, it's Pokemon, shut the fuck up.
It's a video game.
The Witcher, like,
did you
I don't
see
know.
Do you know the meme where it's like James Franco in the Ballad of Buster Scruggs, like about to get like hanged, and he's like, yeah, he turns and he's like, first time. The best thing I saw for the whole Pokemon thing was like EA, and it was like EA and Bethesda fans, like the Pokemon fans, like first time.
Just don't.
Like, Nintendo like is better than most companies, but they releasing a like unfinished, which is bullshit when it comes to Pokemon, but at least in the eyes of these fans, like releasing like a quote unquote unfinished game with like graphical glitches and stuff, like slowdown, is like par for the course for like every other AAA developer. Like even the ones who put out like some of the best games, like Bethesda games come out, and up until like Fallout 76, like they all get like great reviews, even though everyone's like, yeah, this game's broken, but it's fantastic. Like Nintendo never does that, and now they like kind of did it. I don't think so, but
the thing is, it's not so much that Nintendo never did it, because if you remember in Sun and Moon, when they introduced the Horde mode, like you encounter a shit ton of Pokemon at once, like the 3DS would slow the fuck down, like it would chug, and
then X and Y too. Like anytime you turned on the 3D, like everything dropped like 50% frame rate. Like it didn't have
3D within the battles, like it was just within the environment. So like that was like, I just feel like, one, it's Pokemon. So like if you're going into this kids game getting sad that you see a shadow, like the pixels on a shadow kind of edge up a little bit next to, like, as you shut up, like you don't deserve this game, like that kind of thing. But also like just in terms of the more in my head legitimate criticisms, and when I say legitimate, I mean like whenever I hear someone complain about the pixels, and like Puddlegate, when that happened for Spider-Man, I don't care. Like I know that game is not going to be what it is on the E3 show floor. Or the E3 presentation. I don't care. Like,
yeah, like that all that stuff is always beefed up for the presentation, playing on the like highest res PCs and everything. Like,
yeah, and like it's usually just running like that or not. Okay, never mind. I have no idea, so I'm not gonna try to have any kind of authority in that. But like, fucking the idea that Sun and Moon, or what is this, Sword and Shield, are like too easy.
Yeah,
I disagree, but I get it. Like I feel like they definitely streamlined a lot of the, like I'm the first time like I think it was either right before or right after the first battle with Hop, like your nice rival, like 3. Like he healed me up, like either right before or right after. I was like, oh shit, like okay. Like I had enough potions to keep moving if I wanted to. I was close enough to the Pokemon Center to, go back if I wanted to, but I don't need to do that now. And like it's not a matter of like all of my Pokemon leveling up in my party. That's not new. But
yeah, that's something they added. Well, because EXP share was always an item, or at least like for most of the games I played, like going back to like 3rd gen. But I think it was X and Y where they made it so that it shared with your whole team, and it was a key item that you turned on or off. And then I think this is the first one where it's not even an item; it's just how experience works in the game.
I think they did it in Let's Go, but also Let's Go was a different. Like I don't consider.
Well, that was like a beginner Pokemon game, very intentionally. Yeah, I mean, in fact, I think the best parts about Sword and Shield so far for me are the things they carried over from Let's Go. Like, I mean, I didn't know. I mean, because I was truly not following the news for Pokemon apart from like the big trailers, which revealed like some new Pokemon. And even then, I didn't really.
Avoid the bigger, like I'm still running into Pokemon where I'm like, what the fuck are you? Like, I had no idea. Like,
same.
We were talking about him earlier. The electric poison type, like toxicity, whatever his name is. I don't know.
Right. Yeah.
The fog. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah. Sorry if we don't know all the. It's still the first weekend. Give us a break.
That's why I don't do nicknames, because I won't learn the names of the Pokemon otherwise.
Oh no, I'm because if it comes down, like I named my Score Bunny Mako after the guy that did the voice for Uncle Iroh, and also the character Mako from Legend of Korra that was also named after the. So I'm just like, okay, cool. got Mako. I don't know what his final I find like he's a big. I finally evolved him to the third evolution. There we go. I don't know his fucking name. He's Mako. Like, that's it.
Honestly, when you sent a picture to me or to our group chat of him evolving, and when I saw like Mako is evolving, I was like, oh, that's the name of the second evolution.
No.
I did do nicknames initially for like my first like 3 captures, and then I was like trying to refer to them when I was like texting people, and I was like, oh wait, I have no idea what these Pokemon are called. I'm not going to do names. And that happens to me every time there's a new generation. I'm like, I'm going to do names, and then I don't learn the Pokemon, or 10 minutes after I set the name, I decide I don't like it. And thank God, of all like the like quality of life things, I really like that now in any Pokemon Center, you can change your Pokemon's names and remember old moves. Like these are things that like would not only cost you like items or money in previous games, but would only be available by going to one person in one town that you get to like 3/4 of the way through the game. And like, to be honest, like to your point about them making the game too easy, or to the fans' points about that, like I've been actually beating that drum since like generation like 5, I think. Whenever they made like TMs reusable, and then the EXP share in X and Y. And now granted, I loved X and Y, didn't really like Black and White or Sun and Moon, as we've already talked about. But some of that like easier stuff, like streamlining the process, I didn't like, because it felt like it was just catering to the competitive side and not to the single player side. Whereas I liked things like HMs because they force you to both think about what your Pokemon's moveset and what Pokemon you use are going to affect you in battle and in the world. Like when you're actually playing through, you know, like, oh, like I need to have a Pokemon that can use, you know, strength. Like, how can I best use, like, there was a strategy to the single player that was separate from the strategy to the competitive. And I felt like they weren't balancing that well for a while, but maybe it's just like a new set of eyes that I'm coming to Sword and Shield with or whatever. But I feel like with this game, they've smoothed it all out, and it really does feel like quality of life improvements.
Yes.
Whereas like, you know, like it felt like before the competitive and the single player sides were separate, and they were reducing the single player side to appeal to the competitive side. Now it feels like they're one and the same. And that I think is what they were going for. And again, I don't know, like maybe I just was not appreciating it before. And that like I am now, but I don't know. It feels so much better now than it did when they first started doing it in the other games. And like certain things like TMs being reusable, I think are great. Like obviously, like I think that's a good idea. I liked the idea of HMs and whatnot. Like I do wish you had to have a Pokemon with Fly and Surf. Like that's just like a weird, like maybe it's just tradition and like what I'm used to. I don't know.
For me, to the point of HM, and I know that that's not like I agree with largely with what you're saying in terms of like the streamlining and the general quality of life, ease of use stuff. I'm just gonna nitpick on the HMs bit, like. With HMs, like, and I'm actually going to try to extrapolate this to like something. So in terms of HMs, like they put up obstacles within the world, and then you have to kind of get around them with specific moves. But like for me, once I realized like, oh, yo, fucking Bidoof can take all of my HMs,
right?
Can take 4 HMs. Like I would literally just have,
slave.
Yeah, like I would just keep a Bidoof on my team as my 6th slot. If I lost my first 5 Pokemon, I lose. Like it's just one of those type things. And like if I run into something and Bidoof doesn't have the HM, like I have to go back to it and get my other Bidoof because
like no, that's definitely what I think. Maybe not most, but a lot of players did. And it'd be fucked up of me to say like, oh, you're playing the game wrong, because like the game does nothing to incentivize you not to do that, other than the fact that you only have 5 Pokemon. But like, you know, it's just basically pick your poison on whether you're going to like stretch the HMs on your whole team or whatever. But I always like enjoyed that process, and that's just a me thing. So I can't
like to adapt from that. Like they've made the overall world like I have to think about where I'm moving now. Like especially as I'm getting to the Like I just got to the 6th gym. I haven't like, or the town, the 6th town rather. And like trying to get between the 5th to the 6th town, like it's actually some work trying to just move around the world and stuff like that.
Oh yeah,
like,
no, I mean even just I'm at the point where you try to keep it spoiler light, I guess, but like I'm at the point where you have to enter the wild area for the second time, like where you have to enter it to get further in the game, and I like recently swapped out a bunch of my Pokemon and started training some new ones, so I've got like half my team is kind of.
Oh, and wait, did you have to go back to the Pokemon Center to do that? To swap out your Pokemon?
I did. I keep forgetting I have the box.
Oh, I was trying to set you up for the... No, for the record, if you didn't know, you can just, at any point, just swap out to your PC from your...
That stuff is cool. I love it so much. I had mixed feelings on that at first, too, because I don't know, like, it just felt weird. I don't know. Like, I'm such a traditionalist. Like, it does, but it's also, like, it does remove some of the challenge. I don't know. Like, where's
the challenge from it? Like if it's not
to finish my point though, I just like
okay, sorry.
Because the game is still challenging. Like the point I'm at, I'm fighting Pokemon that are like 5 levels over my like at the lowest, they're still higher level than the Pokemon I just added to my team that I'm training, who are like 25. Like and then some of the like I fought a level 50 Pokemon in the wild area earlier, and like I could have tried to escape. But I was like, screw it. Like, and no other Pokemon game do you have the option to like take on like a really hard like enemy. Like, I mean, usually you could if you like underlevel your team, but if you're going at pace with the rest of the game, you're always going to be around the levels or above of what you're like facing in the wild or in the gyms and stuff. But now it's like, oh no, like you could take on that Pokemon, but there's a chance that it's like 10 levels above you. And it could fuck you up easily. And that's mostly just in the wild area with the strong Pokemon, but even just in the routes and the gyms, like I was surprised at how much of a challenge it was. Like I'm losing. My Pokemon are fainting left and right as I play through the game. Like I was very surprised by that. And I don't know, I can't pinpoint exactly what that difference is because everything else seems easier. Like you have more access to moves, you gain a lot more experience. Like I don't know what it is, but
I mean, I feel like in past Pokemon games, like especially when I'm fighting a trainer, they'll like their first move will usually be like a primer, like some kind of like buff or debuff on either me or themselves. But in this, I'm getting like one hits. Like if I go in with a shitty type advantage, like they will take advantage of that and one hit me from the first move. So like I feel like the trainers, I can't really speak too much on the Pokemon themselves, like in the wild from what I can tell, but like. I feel like the trainers are more aggressive. I have no evidence to back this up. It's just a feeling. Have you felt any of that or no?
I think I don't know. I mean, I haven't really noticed a huge difference with the trainers because one thing I definitely have noticed, and this is not specific to this game, I noticed it in Sun and Moon too, and it definitely bothered me there. I feel like there's less trainers on routes like to battle. Like the routes are shorter, which is probably just a matter of like them being like 3D and you know, having like more in the background and whatnot. But like there were sections in like Red and Blue or like Fire Red and Leaf Green where you would have to fight like 10 trainers before you entered a cave. You know what I mean? Like I mean, was. To be honest with you,
it does get to that point. Like it does. Initially, I kind of agreed with you, but like the further I get into the game, the more I'm just like, okay, just finish this battle, and then I look ahead and I'm just like, fuck, all right, let's do this. Like it does get more intense as the game goes on.
Well, speaking of which, we will continue to talk about Pokemon next week, where we will do a full start to finish Pokemon episode. We're gonna rank all 8 generations of the series, and give our full review of Sword and Shield, which I think I'll be done by then.
I'll definitely be done by then.
Yeah, because I'll have a lot of time to play between now and our next recording. So we'll give our full review, having completed the main story. Right now, we're still only part way through. Bo's a little further than I am.